Now, we had two readings of two very different sections of the Bible, and it's all about questions. And there was two words that came to me a long time ago, and it's two words and two questions that you get from the two words. And the two questions is, why Jesus? It just depends where you put the comma, if you put a comma in. So the first one is, why Jesus? Why choose Jesus at all? And it's an important question. And we get many important questions in life. One of the very first ones we get, the one I had, is, what do you want to be when you grow up? Have you got that first slide there, Des? And this is what I wanted to be. Most people wanted to be policemen, firemen. I wanted to be a lion. And it was important. I don't know why, but I couldn't be a lion. So instead I thought, maybe, okay, that's enough, Des. That's enough of embarrassment. I wanted to be a brain surgeon after that. And I did all the tests, and they said, you're wasting your time, Ian. Become an electrician. Much smarter. So that's what will happen. So there are many questions that you get through life. What are you going to do? What are you going to be? When are you going to finish school? Are you going to get married? Are you not going to get married? All these questions in life. And it comes down to, there is really one important question for life, and that is, why Jesus? Why do we choose Jesus? Now, it might be not a smart question because there are a lot of people here who chose Jesus, but can you explain why? Who is Jesus to you? Why did you choose him? And this is what Jesus asked his disciples. He took them aside to a place called Caesarea, whatever it's called, Caesarea Philippi. And he sat them down, and his first question was really an open question. Who do they say I am? So if you ask somebody, who do they say Jesus is? You get some sort of an answer. But where he said it was also interesting. Have we got the second slide? I only got two slides. This is the second one, and it's a cave, I hope. Now, it might seem funny, but where Jesus asked this question, he was in front of this cave, and he had his disciples seated down. But this cave, in the day, there were statues there were idols there were all sorts of things. So Jesus is asking his disciples with that as a backdrop, who do they say I am? Am I just an idol like the rest of them? Am I going to be, when I die or when you want something, you're going to put a statue up there and talk to that and hope that something happens? Who am I? Am I another idol? And when I thought about that, I thought, well, are we any different today? Do we have our own idols? Even if we follow Jesus, do we have like a Jesus plus? And when I say that, do we need success plus Jesus? Do we need riches plus Jesus? Do we need a family plus Jesus? And what happens if we don't get them? Are we still followers of Jesus? Or do those idols become the important thing? And that was a question that on Thursday night there was a statement that was made, and it was, whatever you own, if you cannot give it away, then it owns you. Which that freaked me out a bit because I've got 5 surfboards. And I thought, I don't need 5 surfboards, but could I give them away? That's a question. Well, I'm hoping that I can, and I'm working on it. My head's working on it. But we all collect things that we don't want to give away, and if we don't want to give stuff away, then guess what? That owns us. That becomes part of us. But what happens when we haven't got it and we only have Jesus? When the success that we want doesn't happen, are we still with Jesus? So that's the first question. But then he hones it right in and he says, well, what do you say I am? Who do you say I am? Now, Peter said, and he was the smart one here, he got in first, he said, you're the Messiah, you are the Son of God, the Son of the living God. And Jesus said, that very truth is a truth that will build my kingdom. So why Jesus? Why did you choose Jesus? I've asked 2 people today who have taken time out of their own church family to come here and share with us. It's a sort of a testimony. I said, look, would you, Sarah and Fritz, come up here and be introduced to the church? Thank you very much. Now, I come up here, don't be shy. These two people I met, there's a program for all the churches to be involved with where we go out and door knock and just introduce people and welcome them to the community of Victor Harbor. And this is where I met Sarah. This is Sarah. And this is where I met Fritz. And I just rang them up a couple of weeks ago and said, look, we've got a message coming up, and would you be able to tell them, you've got a heading, Why Jesus? Would you be able to give us a 3-minute talk? And Fritz, I specified, only 3 minutes. And without hesitation, they said yes. So I invite you, Sarah, would you like to go first? Sure. Why Jesus? And then Fritz.
Hey everyone, so I probably won't talk for 3 minutes, probably shorter than that. But yeah, so I guess when I thought about this question, it was hard to think of something to just talk about in only 3 minutes, because there's so many reasons why I've chosen to follow Jesus. But one of the main ones is because, unlike a lot of other religions, Christianity is about having a personal relationship with Jesus. And we don't have to earn God's love, because he already accepts us and loves us as we are, because he sent Jesus to die for us. And also, the fact that I can have a personal relationship with Jesus comforts me and encourages me. And one of my favourite Bible verses is Jeremiah 29 verse 11, which is, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you a hope and a future." And this verse is really important to me because it's really encouraging, and it reminds me that I have a hope and a future in God, and that I have someone who loves me and cares about me.
Hello, good afternoon, good morning, everybody. As Ian wanted to reiterate, I can only speak for 3 minutes, unfortunately. But my name's Fritz. Smiley Fritz. The one that you get from the butcher. So Sarah goes from the Future Church, and I go to the Catholic Church, just right across. And the question that was posed is, why Jesus? And I think it's pretty interesting the way the question was posed, because it supposes that we actually choose Jesus. But the thing is, my first answer is, the reason why I chose Jesus is because Jesus has chosen us first. Right even before we were born, right even we were in the womb of our parents, God has already chosen us. But the question is, Fritz, if God has chosen us, where does free will leave us? That's why Jesus comes into place, because God gives us free will to choose. How do we do that? By choosing God in everyday choices. Do you choose Jesus by helping the kids by giving all these boxes? Do you choose Jesus by not yelling or screaming on the person who just cut you off in the street and the road? Do you choose Jesus by talking to your friends about God? Do you choose Jesus in everyday mundane things? That's how we choose Jesus. And it's important to actually realize that our small everyday choices makes Jesus actually really happy. I mean, I can't talk to God face to face, but can I explain why Jesus? Probably not. But can I feel Jesus? The answer is actually probably in your head right now. If you can say yes, that's amazing. And one last thing, I love that Pauline earlier was talking about God, because the most beautiful thing about God, before that, I want you to look to your left and tell the person to your left, you are created in God's image. Because no matter, and it's beautiful that we have Potter's Clay today and we have all these people right in this group, because no matter what your conditions, your abilities, your age, I mean, we're all 20s in this room anyway, so, and your color or your background, God has chosen us. And it's the matter of choice. Are you going to choose Jesus right after this church? Are you going to choose Jesus after this week? Are you going to choose Jesus after this service? The choice actually leaves to you, because God never leaves. People think that, oh, God left me because I sinned. But the thing is, God never left us. It's us who leaves Christ. So we have to choose Jesus in everyday choices. Thank you so much.
I don't have to say any more, do I? I'd just like to pray for you two guys. It's great. Just come over this side. Isn't it great to hear two young people love Jesus? Father, I just want to thank you for these two people. Bless them, keep them and hold them. Thank you for their enthusiasm, for their lives. And may they follow Jesus and be everything that you ask them to be. But today we just thank you because they came and shared a bit of their heart with us. And it's been encouraging. Thank you, Jesus. Amen. Bless you both. Thank you. Thanks, Chris. As I said, I don't have to say anymore. It's all done. So that was the first part. Why Jesus? It's we had two great testimonies. Why they chose Jesus, or why Jesus chose them. But he's looking at each one of us today. Now the second part of why Jesus, same words, but there's a comma after why, and that's why. Why do bad things happen to me? Why do I have trials of all sorts? As John said, that consider it pure joy when we have problems, when we have trials. And none of us are totally problem-free, and we all go through hard times. Whether you're old, whether you're young, whether you're big, whether you're small, whether you're a grandparent, whether you're a son, a daughter, a grandchild, you're all going to have problems. We're going to lose someone or lose something. We're going to fail a test. We're going to be left out. We're going to get sick. And I know I find it hard to believe, but we're all going to get old. I don't feel old, but I'm getting old. So why does the Bible say, be joyful in trials? It sounds strange at first. But in trials, we can always see something good in them if we follow Jesus. Now, I just want to tell you a bit of my story, which I thought things were going really well. And then the last 12 months, a few things happened. I had to have a surgery. It was like, how are we going to get it? How is it going to be done? And I fell in a bit of a hole. So fortunately, I was able to see different people and get some help. But I was told, and I've probably had it for a long time, that I have depression, that I have anxiety. And I didn't know. And I'm still trying to work it out. And I could say, well, why, God? Why aren't I perfect? Why do I have to have these things? But I haven't asked the question. I've tried to more work out, well, how do I deal with it? If I've had it for this long, which I've probably had it for a long time and not known, how do I figure it out? When do I know I'm getting depressed? When do I know I'm getting anxious? I don't know. But that's where Sue comes into it, and we're still working it through, because she'll say, Ian, you're getting a bit tetchy. And I say, no, I'm not. And it starts from there. But so if God says, be joyful in trials, then I have to work out what does it mean to be joyful in this trial. And what I think it is that when I go through something, or when you go through something, it's not just for ourselves, it's for other people as well. And so this is, and again, I don't know, how long have I been to Potter's Clay? Nearly 2 years. 2 years ago, I didn't know what I was. I went to Potter's Clay. I really love going there, and I love the fact that there's so much honesty and openness. And if someone has an issue, they'll just talk about it. And so for me, it's just great that I know I can go there, and if I have a problem, if I think I'm feeling anxious, I can just say, look, this is how I feel. And this group of people have encouraged me to be open. And if it wasn't for these people, I probably wouldn't be talking about it now. I'd still be pretending that everything's okay. But I don't, and I can't. So what I don't want you to do is, when you come and see me, don't come up close to me and say, Ian, how are you going today? Because sometimes I just feel like if I could dribble out, I'd say, yeah, really good. But no, I am normal. I just have these issues that I've got to deal with. And I can only deal with it with friends and people, and because Jesus said, consider it pure joy. So it's joyful that I can talk to people about it and people can talk to me about it. So we can be a light for others and others can be a light for us. We have to be open, honest, and we have to recognise that it's don't say why me, say for what purpose. So now I know that maybe we need to ask that of ourselves, and that's really what I wanted to get across, is that why Jesus? Because he offers us everything. Why, Jesus, did this happen to me? Why am I this way? Maybe it's because you can be a light to others. And joy isn't the same as happiness. Happiness is based on feelings. I'm happy when this happens. I'm happy when I have lots of friends. I'm happy when I have a good job. I'm happy when. You put the when in. But what if the sun doesn't shine? What if you lose your job? What if your friends leave you? What if someone dies? What's it like then? It's not happy, but we can be joyful because we know that there are others who have gone before us. There are others who can help us, who can hold us up when we need being held up, that we can hold other people up when they need holding up. And that's the message of Jesus. He's here to give us joy. He's here to give us hope, love, and life. And he can use the hard stuff for good. So the next time you face a problem, try to look at it with joy. Not because it feels good, but because something good is being built in you. And that's the truth of Jesus. So today, after the song, if you need someone to talk to, if you need someone to pray with, to lift before Jesus, maybe you might be thinking, I haven't gone, I didn't know who Jesus was. Then now's the opportunity to come and talk to someone. So after the next song, there'll be an opportunity for that, for prayer, to go further. Maybe you're suffering something that you've been keeping deep inside and you want to just put it out there with someone who you can walk with and talk with, and that's important. So as we sing the next song, give that some thought. Why God, and why, God, did this happen to me?